Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It was Liverpool 1, it was Manchester City 4, and it was an absolute Alisson Becker disaster class that saw the, let's face it, champions-elect in Man City put Liverpool to the sword in the end. And yeah, despite the fact that I think you contend that Liverpool were the team on top in the first half, didn't really get going in the second. One decent chance from Curtis Jones, and then the substitutions didn't give Liverpool any more impetus, any more drive, and we'll never know whether that was even possible because, of course, two absolute howlers from Alisson. And then, to be fair, as good as the Phil Foden goal looks in normal speed and normal time, it's right down Alisson's throat. It's hit very hard, but he should be saving that as well, and makes you wonder what the game would have looked like if we'd had a goalkeeper playing in top form. I don't think we can be too... I think City will feel they deserve to win that, and they have done. They've won. They've scored 4 and we've scored 1, so fair play to them, of course, but not the game, not the result that Liverpool were looking for. But were there any notes of encouragement in the performance? Let me know in the comments. If you're a YouTube member, you can access the live chat right now. Just put Mate first in your comments. I know you're talking to me. Then I'm going to go over to Twitter in a moment, go through a few of them, and then I'll be back for some more of the live comments on it all. But I'll start with the members in the comments. And Prajesh Pujari said, "Mate, when is it going to end?" May. But who knows? Because apparently COVID's just ongoing forever and ever and ever. And it's a damn shame at the moment, isn't it? That we've seen what was probably without a doubt, the best team I've ever seen, best Liverpool team I've ever seen. And this team that we're putting out right now is an absolute shadow of that. And the problem is there's so many similarities. There's so many players who are still there that makes you feel that you're watching the same team. But the level of quality that's been cut out of this football team is... It's just telling. And then in addition to that, we said this pre-match, what you need is your established world-class players to really be at the best of their ability, and some of your fringe players to step up. Well, Curtis Jones, I thought he really stepped up tonight. I thought he did. I thought the full-backs had a really good game at times when we looked in control of the football match. But you needed more from the players there. And then, look, we didn't have Alisson in midweek, and we're obviously trying to get him back. And whether we have rushed him, I don't know. But he's had a shocker. The best goalkeepers in the world are allowed one a season, really. You're allowed a couple of 2 or 3 maybe goals that are your fault because of the nature of how you play the game. Hopefully he's just got them all out of his system in one hit, because there's no accounting for the best goalie in the world being as horrendously bad as that. Hopefully it ends when Liverpool put some centre halves in and play some better football, but we'll have to see. Might actually just be the end of the season, unfortunately. Alistair Noel McLean is saying that was awful. Teams burned out, void of ideas. Just play 2 centre-backs now on nothing else to lose. Midfield, terrible. Just not working with Henderson out of it. It's hard to disagree with you, mate, to be honest. If we're looking for strong reasonings, 2 of Liverpool's best midfield 3 are playing at centre-half. We have an option to change that. Will we change that immediately? I don't know. But you're right, in terms of the league, Liverpool need to be careful, because Liverpool need to solidify that top 4 place, and that's a big thing. More important than anything right now is getting to a level of consistent form that means that we can just get that boxed off in as short a thrift as possible. The problem is with the form we're in, it might take us a little bit of while. The Champions League it will be a focus when we're playing Leipzig, of course. But if Liverpool can't get their act together, then it won't be a focus for very long, will it? Which is a real shame, because we've had too many of these seasons where the season's over before really all the big contests have even begun. I'd like Liverpool to still be in a conversation for some silverware at some point later on in the season, but with this side and the way they're playing right now, that's going to be a massive, massive ask, isn't it? Prajesh again says, I know that we're facing a lot of injuries, but still we could have been drawing this match. Alisson made mistakes, but even if he didn't, there was every chance we could lose. Yeah, but this is the thing. Yeah, the game was very finely poised. I thought both teams were pretty well set, and it was a game that was going to be how the other capitalised on errors. When we normally win these games at Anfield, it's like it's the counter press, and it's getting in people's faces, and it's making them make mistakes, and it's capitalising, and it's telling. Ederson misplayed a pass to Mane very early on in the first half, and now it's not a chance, but Liverpool don't aren't able to capitalise, aren't able to create any kind of pressure from that situation. Now, again, it's a difference between doing that and giving the ball away, when your defence is spread and you've not got enough men back and that. But that's the kind of moments these games are often defined like that, and City have come out on top for the first time, in ever at Anfield, pretty much. So yeah, that is a thing. FPL Skills saying, let's concentrate on one game at a time. It might sound cliche, but we need to start getting some consistency first, if at all. Yeah, and 100% agree with that. That's the point right now. It is, this time last year, we were all sat around having conversations about being invincible, and we were having conversations about winning the quadruple and winning doubles and all that. You don't earn the right to be in those conversations until you get to a point where it's on. And right now it's not on. Liverpool need to find some form. They need to find ways to win football matches again. They need to find ways to stop conceding soft goals. And that's the priority number one. Let's have another chat again in March and see where we stand. Liverpool need to now pick themselves up, find a way to win again, and get back to the business of not losing football matches because you've just lost 3 games on the bounce at Anfield. Like, that's, regardless of the circumstances, it's inexcusable. I've no time here for excuses around it. That shouldn't happen. You win your home games and then you work out the rest. And something needs to be worked out pretty soon. Patrick Evans said, not going to lie, starting to lose hope in this club since the West Brom game. We signed 2 defenders non-start. We played like this against Leicester and Leipzig. We're finished. Well, we're not, though, are we? I mean, we'll have done severe damage to our chances of what we were hoping to achieve this season. But, I mean, again, I know you're not saying Liverpool are finished in general, but I feel how you want to feel. I mean, again, unfortunately, life is sapping out of us from every quarter at the moment. It'd be really nice if Liverpool, one of the things that gave us a shining ray of hope. Now, they did. They won the league title for us in the most harsh of situations. They've won the Champions League for us. This isn't that team, and we've got to hope that this team that we have got and we are capable of putting down can do more for us and drag us out of this. But it feels like the time for Liverpool. We need to lower our expectations, which is an absolute fucking sickener because it's a slippery slope. When you lower expectations, do you set the bar low and then all of a sudden mediocrity becomes success? That's how Arsenal got into trouble. That's how Liverpool fell into trouble in the past. I don't think so. I don't think that will happen to us. But yeah, we could just really do with Liverpool winning games of footy, really, couldn't we? Jack Civil saying, mate, probably didn't affect the result too much, but what is Jürgen doing bringing Jones off? By far the best player on the pitch for us, in my opinion. Yeah, that seemed a crazy one. And again, we'll never know because the goalkeeper throws 2 in. And if he doesn't, is that the thing that Liverpool got a platform? We can go on and do better. We'll never know what this team was capable of because the goalkeeper completely undoes us with just absolute stupidly giving possession away. Right, I'm just going to pop over to Twitter very quickly. So if YouTube members, you want to get your comments into, I'll be back in a second for that. Alex Sawyer, seems like I'm the only one that thought the outfield has played really well. No defence against a team who's won 9 on the bounce and only ended up losing due to Ali mistakes. Expectations are too high for a team this ravaged with injuries. People might not be here for that kind of thinking at the moment, but I think largely I absolutely agree with Alex's comment there. It's tough because reaching for positives mere minutes after seeing us lose to one of our bitterest rivals, particularly in terms of the team that if you don't beat City, you don't win the league, generally speaking, at the moment. But I agree. I think there was some great performances on the pitch for Liverpool today until the point where they stopped. And again, Alisson Becker, I think he's the best goalkeeper in the world, so he's allowed to have a really bad day. It's excusable. When Mignolet had a bad day or Karius had a bad day, it's a sign of you need to go and get a better goalie. There's no better goalies than Alisson, so you just kind of have to get on with it, unfortunately. You criticise him and then you wipe it off and you move on to the next game. But we'll never know whether the good stuff won't get looked at. And it should do. Curtis Jones, as mentioned, I thought was really good. Gini had a good game. Thiago was actually growing into it, although he didn't do enough. Getting the early yellow card doesn't help his cause any particularly. Mane was a bit better. I thought Trent had a good game, and he'll be criticised for defending, but I don't think that's all his fault, to be perfectly honest. I thought defensively, he was pretty resolute at times, and the way he supported attack, great. Robertson was good. There were good performances, but it's whether, again, if you're not here for that, fair, absolutely fair play. Lewis, LFC Lewis 96 saying, I'm ashamed of Alisson Becker. He's world class, but I have no words for two mistakes in this of all games. Phil Foden's a baller, and I'm sickened that Sterling's 100th Guardiola goal came against us. I mean, whatever. I couldn't give a shit about that, to be honest. But it's Sterling's amazing, and we're very lucky that he's not been better against us at times. At Anfield last season, he was unreal. Absolutely unreal, and we somehow managed to keep him out as much as possible. But not having a crowd, that's one win we always have. Sterling's head goes in big games against us to the point where Pep actually stopped playing him at times because having an Anfield crowd up against him has been getting in his head a lot. And look, it was as I said in the build-up to this, it was a perfect time for City to beat us, and they've done that. Fair play to them. I mean, they're ashamed of Beck, I think. Look, again, I said this before, he's the best goalie in the world. If the best goalie in the world can make mistakes as bad as that, then unfortunately you've got to kind of make your peace with it. Alisson Ellis cost us our way, says Chad Newbold. Just clear it right up the field. Yep. Fourth goal, great individual effort, but again, could Alisson have saved it? Yep, he absolutely could have. Forget the league, we need fourth place. Get Fab and Hendo midfield, got nothing to lose. I agree. Well, we have. We could finish 5th, 6th or 7th. Karan Kohli, utter shambles. For Alisson's errors cost us, we were in the game. Players are running on fumes and need to be rested and managed for the rest of the season. Kabak, Davies, Phillips need to start as centre-back now. Fabinho Hendo to go back in midfield so the front three can have service. Yep, completely agree with all of that. And Joseph Sweeney, one player who had a bit of belief in, Curtis Jones, and we take him off. Horrible feeling this top 4 race starts now. Yep, it has to, unfortunately. Right, we head over to members chat. Thanks very much, by the way, to Jan, to Brian Glow, to Damien Turner, and to Stuart Armstrong, who've all joined in with the chat. You guys are amazing. Yasser Al-Tay says, I just can't wait for the next season. Scrap this one. Yeah, I said it. I let it slip last week on a show. Like, next season has been our motto for the entire of the Premier League. And I said it, and it's true, innit? Unichronic Mark 1 says, Ali has been a god-tier goalkeeper, so he's allowed an off day. Bigger issue is a lack of final third guile and ruthlessness that I can't see changing until Jota returns, maybe. Yeah, maybe just having a bit more grip in the midfield, and Chris said it in the live show. City were having the better of it in the second half, so it wasn't the worst idea to bring Milner into the midfield. And Shaqiri, you can see the idea was to be a bit more in front of their back four, look to pick up second balls. But then the goalkeeper just absolutely fucking self-destructed, and then it's completely pointless, and you're chasing the game. And City, more than any other team, particularly in this form, are capable of taking a game away from you in an instance, and they've done that, haven't they? Albeit again, Alisson should do better. Pov said, mate, love you, lot. Take the pain away, would you? I wish I could, mate. Unfortunately, we've got no choice but to embrace the pain, own the pain, take it inside you, or just go outside and scream into the night sky. I've heard that works. I might try a little bit of that. I might just put some death metal on in my car on the way home and just roar at the windscreen for a bit and hope that makes me feel better, but we'll have to see. Jack Hunt said, it just breaks my heart more knowing that this team will now have to be broken up. I don't see why that's the case. I don't see, maybe they will do, but I don't. This team does not need to be broken up. It needs to be put back together again. Let's try putting it back together again and try and see if we can have a season where we don't have 6 absolute, first team, first 11 quality footballers removed from our game and bench on a weekly basis, and see if they're good enough. And if they're not, then consider that. But until that point, I think it's a bit much. Truden saying squad needs overhaul. FSG needs to spend big this summer to give Klopp a chance to compete with City again. If not, sell to owners who will. Disagree. I just don't, again, maybe this is me falling into the trap. I did a video over on my YouTube channel on Mates TV, which please, I recommend checking it out. Talk about this notion of the crappening, which is where football teams just perniciously, underhandedly become much worse before under your nose so slowly that you don't notice it. It's happened very quickly for Liverpool this time around. But I said this pre-match, all of the players that you would, if this was Liverpool's first 11, right now that started the best 11, you'd look at it and go, what does it need? It needs a commanding ball playing centre half. It needs a pacey covering centre half. It needs a tall 6 foot plus, really strong, cultured defensive midfielder. It needs an energetic box-to-box midfielder in there as well, and we need someone who's of the similar quality to the front three who can come in and rotate. Well, we have. It's Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Fabinho, Jordan Henderson and Diogo Jota, and we own all those players. What Liverpool need to do is get to a world where they're on the pitch, and it's really annoying because 2 of them are not going to play for us again this season. And that's an absolute murderous kick in the teeth, but it doesn't mean that there's a wider necessarily problem that Liverpool have to sort. It's just the reality of the world we're in, unfortunately. And that's dead. That's horrible. I mean, it's like COVID all over again. There might be people for whom you're at the absolute peak of your powers, maybe at the peak of your attractiveness, and you could be out every weekend pulling left, right and centre, and maybe you've just missed your window. That is gutted. You might have missed out this year on the chance to meet the person of your dreams, the person you were fated to be with, because COVID's stolen that from you. That's gutted, but there's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. I know that doesn't make you feel any better, but unfortunately sometimes life throws you these kind of situations. Liverpool have got a big barrel of lemons here, and Jurgen Klopp, unfortunately, can't afford to write the season off. We need to make some form of lemonade out of it. We're not going to win the league this season, I don't think. I think that would be a ludicrously big ask in the form and with what we've got available to us. But we've got centre-halves in. We need to go again. We need to dust ourselves down, pick ourselves up, and then go and prove that we are still the second best team right now in the league, regardless of all the problems. And if we can do that, I think that would be a massive season and give us a great platform to go on and challenge again. People wrote Man City off. People said it loads of times. 20 points behind us last year. They've gone and spent loads of money on centre-halves, and they're already well improved. It would be mad to think that Liverpool can't get back to this level again with the addition of the players they already own, plus maybe one or two smart signings in the summer as well. But there you go. Right, listen, thanks so much for everyone for the super chats. Thank you so much to new members, old members, medium members. If you want more from us, tier 2 and tier 3 get the final word show tomorrow, live stream from 10:30 in the morning. We normally pull it apart. We normally come away feeling better, even if it is a bit of a crap game and performance. And if you want more in general, then go to the redmentv.com and sign up. Oh, just lastly, one more super chat. Klopp's Cop at £10. Thank you. We have to be optimistic, because when the fan base is uneasy, the team sense it, and so does the opposition. Thousands of believers. We're not Roy Hodgson's side with Flanagan on the flank, so grow up. Flanagan came in under Kenny, I think, anyway, but despite your point, look, our unease is irrelevant because we're not in the ground. We need to just get in our. And this is the problem. This team has got to sort itself out without us. So we actually have to hand over more of ourselves to this team, which is horrible. But we need to get our heads straight and maybe have a little bit more of a pragmatic look at this. It's not individual players' fault. It's a culmination of a whole host of things. And this team has been so massively cut apart from its best form. I think it'll get back there. Whether it gets back there this season remains to be seen, but that's the job of other people. That's not our job. Our job is just to continue to support the team and continue, moreover, to not let us absolutely psychologically ruin us when it doesn't. Good luck. I haven't found the answer to that yet. If you do, let me know. L once again with the fun and centre-backs have to play next game, because even Stevie Wonder with a blindfold can see Hendo and Fab and missed. Agreed. Let's just get our best midfield, attack and wingers and wing-backs, full-backs in there, and let's blood these centre-halves and let's see how we go. But we'll see. Leicester coming up, Leipzig, a chance to still redefine what the season looks like. And unfortunately, we're all Liverpool fans. We're all in it for life. So we're just going to have to grin and bear it and hope amongst all hopes that the boys do the business for us. Guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Instant Match Reaction is coming up after Chris's player ratings. Do tune in for all that, and I'll see you all on Monday morning. Ta-ra.